I'm Dylan. Welcome to New Order YouTube channel. Always happy to see portfolio founders here. So today we're going to talk about 0x KYC. And I think you guys also prepared a demo for it, so really look forward to that. But before we get into the product itself, can you tell us a bit more about your background and how does that lead to DeFi?
Yeah, so I can begin. So I'm CTO of 0x KYC. My background is in software engineering, so I've been developing for over 6 years now. I started in the Python AI space, but in the background, I was always interested in crypto. So since 2016, I've been buying tokens. Um, I then kind of transitioned my love for development into the blockchain space as I got more involved in these like communities and tokens and projects and stuff like that. So it was just natural that I came upon DeFi and just like basically all the like developments in blockchain as they unfolded.
Is 0x KYC your first product since you joined this?
Uh, in blockchain.
Yeah.
So I've worked on many blockchain projects, but this is my first company for myself.
As a co-founder, I see.
So yeah, so first time founder.
Yeah, um, for me, it's kind of also the first one. It's the first real one that I worked for a long time that actually has a working product already, or just about to launch. And that is a great way that we met with Dylan over 6 months ago now.
Yeah, I understand you have a legal compliance background, which is very, tied to the product X KYC. Is that correct?
Partly, yes. It's mostly on the side of actual product management, but also as a product manager, I worked with the legal side too. So I don't have per se neither education nor particular legal experience in terms of job position, but I've navigated the space, including uh, creating the first regulated mobile onboarding system in Belgium, co-creating it, co-designing it, and then I wasn't directly involved in the negotiations with the regulators, but since I was preparing the blueprint and was co-responsible for the implementation, it was all down to me and one more partner who together with we've built the system that was in the end accepted.
That's perfect. Okay, so could you give us an overview about 0x KYC? I know there are a lot of KYC providers in this space on different chains. So how does 0x KYC differentiate?
So yeah, so we are actually in a totally new category. So especially in Web3, but everywhere else, there is usually only two options. You either KYC your users or you don't KYC your users. So if you KYC your users, you know everything about them and like you basically dox them. And if you don't KYC, then you run the risks of it, for example, in Web3, of serving individuals who you are not able to be serving. So we bridge these two polars into a middle ground that is, we call it privacy preserving KYC, where we are now able to give the protocol the ability to know that this user is able to be served while maintaining the privacy of the actual user of that protocol.
In terms of how mechanically this works, can you maybe dig a little bit deeper on the technology itself?
Yeah, so we use the advancements in ZK to basically put that proof into a soulbound token, which then sits on chain and is permissionlessly verifiable by anybody.
So the property of soulbound token is non-transferable, so it's always tied to one address. So that's the idea behind it.
Yep. We do have a custom implementation of this where we have the ability to revoke it as well. Because, for example, let's say a user's document is expiring or they become sanctioned afterwards, we have the ability to monitor that. but we like other than like a millisecond of processing, we have no knowledge of that user basically. Everything is permissionless on chain, and the ZK is on the soulbound for everybody to verify.
I see. So the ZK knowledge, sorry, the zero knowledge proof is mostly to provide to protect the user privacy, and the soulbound token is to tie to one particular address. And that's
Exactly.
how you enable. I see. That's very helpful. So I think it's the good time for you guys to show us the demo now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
So, okay, so this is our app page. A user would come here when they are prompted to make their KYC check. Just connect your wallet. We are multi-chain, so we'll be launching on Ethereum, Polygon, and Scroll. For this demo, I'll do Scroll because I know you guys are very familiar with Scroll. And yeah, from here, you click on verify yourself, you input your email.
And it's optional, so you can also skip it. It's very
Yeah,
useful
you
to
can
have
also
it there.
skip it.
Yeah, because if you revoke your token, for example, you won't know about it without the email, but we're super privacy preserving, so we also allow you to just skip the email too.
So from here, I would start my verification, issuing country, passport. From here, I get a secure link that I will be prompted to move to my mobile. And now I should be done. Upload. Perfect. I submit that, my country of residence. So I'll do Poland for now. Nationality, Canadian. Continue. And now you are redirected back to our site. From here, this is where the zero knowledge is being created. Also, we insert this into the soulbound, and then it is minted. So in just a few more moments, it should, yeah, there we go. And we have our profile page that we are verified, all the partners that we'll be working with. And then you can go to the block explorer and verify that in fact it was minted. So yeah, that's a simple demo. And yeah.
Usually the KYC process will take at least like 1 to 2 days if you're using like centralized exchange, for example. How do you enable such a fast verification?
So this is part of our secret sauce. We don't want to disclose too much here, but we work with a great provider and we have custom terms, et cetera, et cetera.
I see. Okay, okay. I won't ask
But
more.
but definitely our latency is our competitive advantage along with our price that we will be launching with. So we're a cost player along with being a like you mentioned, our speed is uncomparable. It's within 15 seconds that we know that the check is done basically.
That's awesome. So I can see many use cases for this minting of soulbound token. So you showed us a demo from a user perspective, but from an application perspective, you know, the clients you'll be serving, what is some use case, immediate use case?
Yeah, so for like the where we're focusing on right now and where we're useful today is, for example, in DAO governance. So either DAO governance or anywhere there where there's funds in and funds out. So I think the work DAO is probably the best example. So users close tickets, and you know once that ticket is accepted, then a payout is to occur. So before that payout happens, like right now, a DAO based in like either the US or UK or anywhere in Europe, for example, or Asia, has to comply with not paying out sanctioned individuals, for example. And a lot of these sanctioned like nefarious characters are trying to circumvent these sanctions by closing decentralized tickets. So today it is useful in the fact that you can on your front end just implement a simple token gate and like make sure that user you're paying out has a 0x KYC token, and at that point you know that they are good to pay out, and you can pay out that individual. Yeah.
So okay, so it sounds like it's particularly useful for DAO governance. and for paying out the contributors. Um,
Yep.
I wonder, so as a company, can you elaborate a bit more on your go-to-market strategy? As is it that you're focused on DAOs? Who are some of the key partners you can think of?
Yep. Well, we have a couple pilot partners, some of them also from the Base Camp cohort. Um, WorkDAOs are one of them. We're also going after SDKs to build Web3 applications, including something we're very bullish on and something we also believe we can enable with additional features that we're implementing. I mean here, account abstraction.
Mhm.
So we not only scan the ID, take a selfie, but we also are planning to become a very proficient company in biometrics. So it's only a couple data points that we've shown so far, but actually behind the scenes, there's much more going on. Our unique advantage is the fact that we do very advanced AML, and we want to trust, build trust with our partners, so they trust that our check, in fact, is valid. It doesn't give them the full data, which is the point we're privacy preserving. But if the regulations also change, whether it's for DeFi in the US or for the travel rule in the EU, we might be just the only legally viable solution that is GDPR compliant, while at the same time privacy preserving.
That's a really good point. I actually wanted to ask this next question. So if let's zoom out a little bit and look at compliance in DeFi, it's a I think it's a crucial component for this industry, and especially after so many unfortunate events that happened last year that lead to loss of user funds. So how do you see the outlook for DeFi compliance?
We actually were very keen to research this topic because we originally started as a DAO, not a DAO governance tool, but like a tool to protect smart contracts in DeFi, to protect it from sanctioned individuals, to protect it from what was back then when we were starting the tornado cash problem. So we're like, we can make a solution that would prevent that from happening at all. We just verify that there is no nefarious actors that are entering the system while also not knowing who they really are. So we talked with people who were directly or indirectly involved in even the works on the papers that are being worked on in the American government. Talked with multiple of our competitors. We also hope to have some partnerships there to maybe create a consortium such that there will be a standard for zero knowledge identity as well. We're not yet engaging in that, particularly because we're focused on launching and our partnerships. But when we get bigger, it's something that would be really useful to have this also recognized as a valid method of confirmation of people's identities. So currently where the regulations lay, it's very different in the US, very different in Europe, and it's also different around the world. In Europe, the travel rule, well, one of the interpretations is you have to know at the input and at the output of the transaction, the name and surname. Problem with that is that once you know it, you also know all the other transactions that person made because it's public on the blockchain, which is not in line with GDPR. In the US, there's no, it's a little different. There is particularly right now for decentralized DEXs, no real compliance requirement to do a full KYC. That's why you don't see this much. But all of those protocols are still under AML and counter financing of terrorism rules, which we help them screen against. And when new regulations come, we believe next year, maybe late next year, there will still be a period of transition from when the regulations are started to when you have to comply with them. And this we believe will be our chance to make minor adjustments to whatever our product will be at that time. However, we will grow. We plan to become also an SDK, so you'll be able to embed us in an application. So when the regulations come, we want to be the most ready as ready as possible to provide those smart contract integrations.
That's super helpful. Thank you so much. So, um, recently you graduated from our accelerator program, DeFi Base Camp. How was the, I'm just curious, how was the experience, and in what way do you think an accelerator can be helpful to early stage venture?
Yeah, it was super like it really accelerated us to where we are now, like true to its name. I mean, we started as a hackathon project, right? So we had this idea. I mean, it was just in this idea phase. Like maybe we would have maybe worked on it like from weekend to weekend. This accelerator put like a fire underneath us. We legitimized as a business. We built our MVP. Now we're about to launch in a month. So I mean, like all the first of all the amazing mentors we met, all the different connections. Obviously, we're in contact with like amazing people like you guys as well. So we're like to have all these connections, backing, and just like mentorship from these like people in the industry has been invaluable, along with just putting a fire underneath us to build and to like just legitimize ourselves.
Thank you for the kind words. I'm happy that we can be of service. So for the audience, if you are a founder building an early stage venture in Web3, in DeFi, we will be like very happy to hear from you. We're now recruiting for our third base camp. And it's set to launch in May. And we'll post the link in description below for you guys to look at, our thesis and get in touch with us. Okay, great. So last question for the Zero XC founders. When it's launched, and if someone wants to get in touch with you guys, what's the best way to do so?
Yeah, so we're launching. We don't want to give a hard date yet, but we're targeting end of April. And if you want to get in contact with us, we have a public documentation because we are extremely easy to implement. But if you want to contact us more directly, you can contact us either at Dylan@0xkyc.id or Adam@0xkyc.id. And we are very diligent in our responses. And yeah,
Awesome.
look out for our launches at end of April.
Really look forward to that. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and tell us about your projects. As always, feel free to reach out to us and let us know how we can be more helpful. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Amber. Amazing.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.